Most people think financial success begins with a high salary. You graduate, find a stable job, earn more money, and assume everything else will naturally fall into place. Saving can wait, investing can wait, retirement feels unimaginably distant. After all, your 20s seem far too early to worry about growing old, but the real answer is far stranger. Your 20s are not simply another decade. They are one of the few periods when time quietly becomes your greatest financial advantage. Long before your income reaches its peak, your future wealth is often shaped by choices that appear too small to matter. Why would such an ordinary stage of life have such extraordinary influence? The answer begins with a simple force that operates whether you notice it or not. Imagine planting two identical trees. One is planted today, the other waits 10 years before touching the soil. Both receive the same sunlight, water, and care. Decades later, one towers above the other. The difference was never better treatment. The difference was time. Money behaves in surprisingly similar ways. Every dollar has the ability to produce growth. Then that growth begins producing growth of its own. Eventually, those new gains begin creating even more gains. This chain reaction is known as compound growth. In plain English, it means your money slowly starts working for itself instead of relying only on your paycheck. The remarkable part is not how fast this happens at first, it is how dramatically the effect accelerates after many years. That is why your 20s matter so much. Many people believe investing is mainly about finding the perfect stock or predicting the next successful company. Yet decades of research suggest something much less exciting but far more powerful. Starting earlier often matters more than earning spectacular investment returns. This idea has appeared repeatedly throughout financial research. Economist and Nobel Prize winner William F. Sharpe helped demonstrate how long-term investing rewards disciplined participation more consistently than attempts to perfectly predict markets. The lesson is surprisingly simple: time can outperform talent. Psychologists have also discovered something equally important about young adulthood. During your 20s, many lifelong habits become deeply established. Spending patterns, saving behavior, responses to temptation, and financial confidence often become automatic routines that continue for decades. Researchers including Wendy Wood have shown that much of daily behavior is driven by habits rather than conscious decision-making. Financial decisions are no exception. Small routines repeated thousands of times eventually shape enormous outcomes. That raises an interesting question. If habits become automatic, why do so many intelligent people postpone saving? Your brain evolved to solve immediate problems. For nearly all of human history, survival depended on finding today's food rather than worrying about resources 40 years into the future. Immediate rewards often meant survival. Delayed rewards carried uncertainty. Modern life presents the opposite challenge. Food is abundant, digital shopping happens instantly. Credit cards allow purchases before money is earned. Advertisements promise happiness today instead of security tomorrow. Ancient instincts now meet an environment they never evolved to understand. Behavioral economist Daniel Kahneman spent decades studying how people make decisions under uncertainty. His work revealed that your brain naturally favors immediate rewards over larger future benefits, even when waiting produces a better outcome. This tendency explains why buying something today often feels emotionally stronger than investing the same amount for 30 years. The emotional reward arrives immediately. The financial reward remains invisible. Invisible progress is difficult for your brain to celebrate. That is why building wealth often feels strangely unrewarding at first. Early investing produces only small changes. The numbers seem almost disappointing. Yet beneath the surface something important is happening. Time is accumulating. Future growth is quietly preparing itself. Imagine two friends beginning adult life together. The first begins investing a modest amount every month at age 22. The second decides to wait until 32 because income will probably be higher by then. The second investor may eventually contribute more money each month. Yet the first investor often finishes with substantially greater wealth because every early contribution received years of additional growth. The surprising advantage was not intelligence. It was simply beginning sooner. This idea frequently surprises people because your brain naturally focuses on visible effort instead of invisible accumulation. Working overtime feels productive, receiving promotions feels meaningful, watching investments slowly grow often feels uneventful. Yet quiet progress frequently creates the largest long-term results. Another fascinating discovery comes from the famous Walter Mischel delay of gratification experiments, commonly known as the marshmallow experiments. Children who successfully delayed an immediate reward often demonstrated stronger long-term planning skills later in life. Although later research added important nuance, the central lesson remains valuable. The ability to think beyond the present can influence many future outcomes. Financial planning depends upon that same skill. Every dollar saved today represents a decision that your future self matters just as much as your present self. But your future self feels strangely unfamiliar. Neuroscientists have found that many people mentally treat their future selves almost like different people. That psychological distance makes sacrificing today's comfort surprisingly difficult. Your brain instinctively protects the person who exists right now. Fortunately, habits can overcome that limitation. Automatic transfers into savings or investment accounts reduce the need for repeated willpower. Instead of making hundreds of difficult decisions each year, your system quietly makes them for you. Small automation often defeats large temptation. That is why consistent routines usually outperform bursts of motivation. Many people also underestimate another powerful advantage of starting early. Mistakes become less dangerous. Your 20s provide time to learn, time to recover, time to improve. An imperfect investment strategy followed consistently for 40 years often outperforms a perfect strategy that never begins. Fear of making mistakes delays countless financial journeys. Ironically, waiting often becomes the biggest mistake of all. Of course, starting early does not require enormous wealth, it requires consistency. Even modest contributions teach valuable behaviors. You learn patience, you learn discipline. Most importantly, you allow time to become your silent partner. Every year you delay gives compound growth fewer opportunities to work. Every year you begin earlier gives future growth another season to multiply. That difference appears small today. Decades later, it can become life-changing. When retirement finally arrives, many people assume wealth was created through extraordinary intelligence, perfect timing, or exceptional luck. In reality, countless successful investors simply gave their money something nobody can ever replace. More years. That invisible advantage quietly compounds while daily life continues. Your 20s may not be your highest-earning decade. They may not contain your biggest promotions. They may not contain your largest investments. Yet they often contain something even more valuable. The earliest opportunity to let time begin working for you. Every financial decision you make today sends a message into the future. Some choices disappear after a few hours, others continue growing for decades without asking anything more from you. Your ancestors evolved to survive one day at a time because tomorrow was never guaranteed. Your brain still carries pieces of that ancient survival system. It naturally values immediate rewards over distant possibilities. Yet modern wealth is built by doing exactly the opposite. Every time you choose to invest in your future instead of satisfying an impulse today, you quietly overcome an ancient instinct with a uniquely modern advantage: time.